We're going to tag team you guys this morning. This is mainly we want to talk about TSANet Connect and the new interface. So I'm going to go through just a couple of beginning slides here, and then I'm going to turn this over to Paul, and he's going to run you through some of the new things that are coming up with TSANet Connect and some of the advantages that we've done. I will tell you that this partner group area is something that has really taken off within TSANet, and it's actually largely responsible for what growth that we've had within the organization, and we're now up to over 600 members. So kind of to start this out, obviously, you know, one of the things that the reason that this has worked quite well, and a lot of companies are using this for their partner programs and other programs, is that it's the path of least resistance to get partners signed up into this. And what we've also done is taken a little bit more of a holistic approach to this, that there are different relationships, and I'm going to dig into that a little bit to show you what you can do and what other companies have done. But basically, the bottom line is the reason that this has taken off is because it really is a very easy way. You can use the same legal infrastructure, and you can use the same portal to be able to manage a partner program, but you can also customize it to whatever you need to do. So you're using part of that legal structure, but you also have the ability to customize this to where it doesn't necessarily tie into the same elements or requirements that you would have in an open group environment where you have to have a mutual customer, for example, that kind of thing. And then also the other piece of this is we work with you. Stephanie and Brittany here and the TSANet staff are working with partner managers all the time to help you onboard your partners into this, give you an idea of exactly where you stand with it. And we've actually made that even easier, and Paul's going to walk you through some of that. So again, this has kind of set itself up and morphed itself into two different ways to look at this partner programs. Down at the bottom of the screen is kind of a visual example of it, but basically it's a many-to-many or it's a one-to-many relationship. And what we've seen, and we'll talk about this a little bit, is it's kind of morphed into what we call the solution support and then the partner program area. But again, going back to what I mentioned earlier, is you're still using the TSANet structure to help create this. So we've got templates all set up. We can set up a partner program for you very easily and very quickly. In order to host a program, you have to be a basic or a premium member. But then what we really want to focus in on is looking at the different types of solutions that our members have come up with. And Paul, why don't you go ahead and go to the next one on the solution support side. So this is something that a good example of this is NetApp. And this would be where you've got a solution that you're putting out to a customer base, and you've got a select group of companies that you want to have a very streamlined and high collaboration level with. So what you can do is actually create, we'll call it a custom many-to-many group relationship, and pull those partners in, and then you're going to define the elements of that relationship within the group. So and the one thing that we run into is we've kind of been, as an organization, sort of stereotyped into this open group environment where there has to be a mutual customer. Well, you may have already defined the customers that are part of this relationship. So within the solution support framework, you don't have to have a mutual customer. Maybe you've already defined it. And within that certain group of companies, you want to create that high level of collaboration within that group, and you bypass the customer entitlement piece because that's already been taken care of. That's an example. That's something that we've seen. FlexPod is a good example of that. We've got some other ones that are used. And again, I go back to the point that really doesn't matter what you're trying to accomplish or what type of relationship we can do. We can actually fit that into the TSANet structure pretty easily. So the other one that we've done is this partner group, and this also applies to channel partners and things like that. This is where you typically have gone out and you've gone through the development area with your partners. You've created a solution, and now that is in a production environment. So now what you need to do is actually go out and be able to support that when there is a mutual customer involved, for example. So what we've done is, again, we've gone back to the path of least resistance. A lot of these companies will come in, they'll set up a partner program, and then they just say, look, we need to have this collaboration support mechanism. Maybe it is only one way. Maybe I'll always call you, or maybe you'll call me, or maybe it is bi-directional. But either way, we need to have that mechanism set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this custom group under this vendor neutral portal of TSANet. You need to come in and sign up into this group at a very nominal cost, or actually at no cost at all, where we will actually set it up to where you can host the relationship and pay for your partners to come in and do that. And we've got these set up now with hundreds of partners. So, and again, we also help manage the programs, and you see the ones up here with Nutanix and VMware and Symantec and Red Hat, and that's just some of the programs that we've already got in place here. So Paul will walk you through what we're doing with TSANet Connect to make this actually easier than we've got it set up now, and what we're doing with that. And at the very end of this, I think we're talking about how you can get a hold of us and create your partner program if that's what you're looking to do. So, Paul, you want to walk them through the TSANet Connect portion of this?
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Dennis. So as far as TSANet Connect, we have made a couple of changes in the area of partner programs, and I would say these all kind of follow the overall strategy of TSANet Connect, which is to really kind of simplify everything. So we made quite a few changes and improvements in the area of onboarding and management of your groups. So the first, and I'll show you a little bit of this, is improved co-branded registration page, and it really makes it very, very easy for your partners to join in. The second one we did, which is probably a combination of technology and some legal changes, is we created this new default addendum, and that allows us to add basic and premium members very quickly into groups. So if you're creating a partner program and you're inviting 100 members in, and a bunch of those are either basic or premium members, it makes bringing those types of members on extremely easy. And then the other area that we did, and this is probably a combination of management of your partner program, but also usage when it comes to the engineers, and that's a change we kind of highlighted maybe back in the caller interface. But before, you had this concept of a microsite, and your users or support engineers, they had to navigate to this microsite in order to collaborate with the partners that were part of that group. They could also see documents and things like that. What we did is we replaced the microsite structure with a new documents feature for partner programs, and I'll show you that. But in short, that was the key feature that people were using with the microsite. So we just really brought that within the new process form, and I'll show you how that shows up. But that really simplifies how engineers are collaborating with your partners that are inside of these groups. And then the second area that we improved was the limited member experience. Before, they used the exact same interface that basic and premium members used, maybe a little bit heavy for what they needed to do, which in a lot of cases just collaborate with a single host member. So we made that extremely straightforward, made it very easy for them to join and create their process form. So in the past, they had to create a contact document just like everyone else, and sometimes that became a real challenge. So now it's I'll show you this. It's basically answer a few questions, and then we just create the default standard email form. So very streamlined there. And then I'll show you the interface. It's really kind of designed around making sure it's very easy to collaborate with the select members that they're part of their groups, but we also made it very easy to upgrade their membership as well. So really kind of communicating what a limited member is and making it very easy to explore other membership options and upgrade. So that's the changes from a nutshell. Let me drill into the details here. So the first is this new landing page. Some visual design changes, but I would say the most important piece is this register now. So before, there was a lot of text, a lot of kind of things they had to read and click on the right button. Now really they're just entering their email address and pressing next. And behind the scenes, we're going to go and find them and then send them down the right process path. So now they don't need to worry about, am I an existing member? If I am, what's membership level? Do I currently have a relationship with this, that, or the other member? We figure that all out. We send them to the right place. So, for example, if they are already a premium or basic member, as I said, we created this new default addendum, so you can see, hey, you don't need to accept anything. All you need to do is select which process you want to use, and then determine whether you want this to be open access or controlled access. So you're simply just selecting these things and submitting them, and that's it. So just kind of a single page sign up makes it really, really easy for existing members. And again, this is for basic and premium. Existing limited members also have this similar ease, right? So existing limited members, we already have everything we need as far as that. We're just adding them into a new group. In most cases, they have to accept the partner addendum, but they already have a process. Most of the other stuff is pretty straightforward. So a single page sign up for existing limited members as well. So just makes it very, very easy. If you're already a TSANet member, we find that out and send you to this single page. If you are not an existing member, then we send you to a sign-up process. But again, we've really simplified this also. So if we take a look at the new limited member sign-up process, it's a three-step process, and again, really kind of designed around simplifying. So this first page, pretty straightforward, contact details. Once you fill out all this information, press next. You enter the page where you're going to accept the agreement, and then maybe there's a payment required, maybe there's not. So that's all dynamic based on what the program requires. And then they press next, and this is probably where the really big change is before they had this kind of complicated, now create your contact process, and in some cases that was just a bit too complicated. There's a lot of flexibility in that. So now we just move to fill out these fields and press submit, and it will automatically create the inbound process form that works on the default TSANet Connect email process. So we kind of took a lot of the guesswork out of this, made it very easy for them. Again, there's these info buttons all over the place to where if they have questions on what should be in these fields, they can do that. And then the other important thing is at the end of this process, we're going to send an email to the support manager. So I would say the other big challenge that we've had with bringing on new limited members is it tends to be the product manager within an organization that gets the request from the partner to, hey, you need to join TSANet to be part of this technology partner program, for example. They go and complete all the stuff, and in a lot of cases don't even inform the support manager. So then ongoing, it makes it very difficult to get value out of that from the limited member. And then also if something goes wrong, usually the best person on the operations side isn't the product manager. So we are getting the support manager now all the time in this type of form, and we're going to send them basically kind of a little mini onboarding welcome email, right? That kind of explains what this thing is and brings a support manager on to the process as well. Okay, so that kind of highlights that overall making it easy to bring members onto your partner program, and that just really kind of works for all of the partner programs, technology or channel partners as well. So then the other area of change is with managing your groups. And I would say before, again, this was something maybe that evolved over time and resulted in kind of a complicated experience for the administrator of these groups, and also created a complicated experience for your engineers. So we kind of stepped back and rethought this whole thing and came up with a much simplified experience for the administrator, which is to show you everything you need on a single page. So we list all your different partner programs here, and then you're essentially going to drill into one of these partner programs, and you will see everything that you need to know about this program. So again, the whole microsite thing is gone, and we brought in all the other attributes of the the partner program into a single page. So you're going to see all these, kind of general information here. What's your group name? What's your group type? Is it solution support or partner program? The page where you go in and register. This registration status is going to bring you to an Excel where we're basically tracking the onboarding of your members. So not only can you see, who's actually onboarded, but you also be able to see the pipeline, right? Who we sent invitations to, what's the status. So as Dennis indicated, we're helping your partner team manage and onboarding this stuff. So you'll be able to kind of see, at any time what the latest status is. And then you can see your inbound process. You can see whether this is a restricted access. If it is, you'll be able to manage the access levels. So add your team members in there, or in most cases, and I would say 99% of the time, they're open access, which means all your users of TSANet Connect are going to be able to see this program. And then you also do have the ability to define custom SLAs, and this is then embedded in the TSANet Connect process whenever you're collaborating within that group. So, for example, if you created a solution support group and has very aggressive SLAs, you can modify that there. Or if you created a technology partner program and you want to create very simple, easy SLAs, you can modify that as well. And then, of course, you're going to see all your partners here. But then this is the other big change as well. So before, if you remember for the microsites, you had to migrate to the microsite and then click on one of the tabs. We kind of let you have a couple different tabs, but it was essentially the same functionality in each area, which was the ability to post documents. And that is really the functionality that we brought over from the microsite. So you can add either documents or links very easily. You can, delete them. So really kind of, we'll call it extremely simple document management. So this is not intended to be a knowledge base or anything like that, but it's intended to allow you to post things like a compatibility guide if it's solution support, or maybe you're going to give access to a lab or some other type of access instructions. You can provide that as well. So these tend to be, maybe a handful of documents that really make a difference in how you collaborate within that group. So then moving on to the change that the engineers see. So as we talked before, the microsite is gone. The engineers are really always, every single time, navigating to this process form. And if there is group documents attached, and sometimes there's not group documents attached, and that's fine as well. They won't see this this widget if there is no group documents. But if there are group documents, it's going to highlight them here, and then you can view more and see all the different documents that are part of that group as well. So if there's something important like a compatibility guide or a troubleshooting guide or something that is specific to this group, that's where you would post that. And then again, the engineers are seeing that as they're navigating to the TSANet Connect process form. Okay, so in a nutshell, that's the improvements on the registration and management side of things, and also the usage as far as the engineers in general. So then moving on to the next area of improvement is the limited interface. And I'm just going to kind of talk through a little bit the changes here. If you look at the top piece, we made it extremely easy to just collaborate with your partners. So this is just simply a pull down that's going to list the one or two or three partners that you have and take you directly to their process form. So no need to search, no need to have a bunch of other functionality, because they don't need that. They just simply have relationships with a defined set of members. So that's in here. But then we also added the ability for them to discover other partners that are part of TSANet. So this is kind of you call it a little bit of an upsell, right? Let them kind of discover, oh, this other partner that I work with is part of this as well. Let me see if they're a member, and this kind of goes through a workflow where it contacts us. So we try to then understand who they're interested in collaborating with, and we bring that through an internal process to reach out to them and see, is there another a partner program in place that would support that, or should they upgrade their membership? And then this bottom piece, in addition to news, we make certain that they understand they're a limited member. They understand what that means, so what they get with that. But then we also share with them, what other features are available within TSANet and also TSANet Connect when they are a basic or premium member. So those are really the changes in a nutshell with TSANet Connect. So then I'll just kind of maybe transition back to some of the things that are the same, and then I'll hand back off to you, Dennis, to talk about maybe some of the prices and how you get these going. But this marketing piece of your partner program, this is something that's been around, as Dennis said. It's your partner program, and part of that is how do you want to market it. And we work very closely with you to make sure that what we're doing here on the TSANet side is matching what you're doing from a marketing side within your partner program. So that is everywhere from allowing you to kind of customize this banner with your partner program, so that has the same look and feel of your partner program stuff. And then we can also create whether that's onboarding videos or benefits brief, single pager. And again, this can be co-branded and really made to fit inside of your partner program, so that doesn't appear like this, strange thing outside of your existing partner program marketing information. So kind of making sure it's part of that, and it has the same look and feel and messaging that your partner program has. And then this link here, if you go to it, you'll see, we market these things, or, allow other members to kind of discover them on our public page if it's not a private solution support, so you can discover items there as well. So that's kind of the marketing piece. So then, Dennis, maybe I'll pass the baton back to you.
Yeah, thanks. So a couple of things, Paul, before we touch on the pricing, I just wanted to let everybody know, as you can kind of see, this is really customized, and that's the way we've approached this whole partner program thing, is that it's your partner program, and we want to help you implement it and execute it. As we get into TSANet Connect a little bit more, then, and the point I'm trying to make is that typically that falls within my area, where operationally I'll go in, we work with you to set this up. We typically would work with your partner manager as well as the support side of the house to make sure that we've got this set up the way that you want it. As we move into TSANet Connect and implement it into TSANet Connect, it's likely that Paul and I will both be working together to make sure that we get the programs going. So if you have interest in this and you want to pull your partner program folks into a conversation, please be more than willing to contact us, and we'll set up a time and can walk through and actually talk about how you want to do this and set it up. From a pricing perspective, again, we've made this really easy, right? If you're an open group member of basic and premium, one, you can set these programs up and there's no charge. If you want to participate in one, again, it's included in the basic and premium price. If you want to host a group, then the board has let us have a little bit of latitude on this one-time fee as far as doing that. We haven't had a lot of requests for the basic members to actually create groups, but we're seeing it more at the premium level. So we can talk about whether we actually will get into this fee. But right now, the policy is that we've waived a fee for you to start a program if you're a global premium or you're pulling in 50 or more partners, right? As far as the members coming in, what they pay, there's two different options. The member can pay the $500 fee if they want to be a limited member into a single one-to-one relationship, or if you want to bypass that and you want to pay for their fee, it becomes a sliding scale. And that's where I think it starts out at $200 or $250 per member. And what we do is basically start the program, take a snapshot in a year, count up the number of partners, and that's what you're billed on. That was the easiest way for us to do it. The reason that we're actually able to lower that fee is because we don't have to go through the invoicing and any of that kind of stuff. We actually just bill you directly to do it. So we've had a lot of companies that have taken advantage of that too, where they just, I'll just do it because It's the easiest and path of least resistance, and I don't even have to mess with the members paying the $500 fee. So that's the way that we do the pricing. Again, it's customized. We can talk to you about how we want to do it and set that up. I can't remember, Paul, is this our last slide that we have, or is there?
We just have one, kind of walkthrough of what happened.
Which is exactly what I wanted to talk about, right? Which is, again, what we would do is let's talk about how we want to do this. What are your objectives? How would we set this up? I think one of the things, Paul, that I'd like you to maybe talk a little bit about is what do you see on a timeline perspective for us getting into creating a group and doing this with a new TSANet Connect interface, right?
Yeah, in fact, I was going to kind of comment on that. A lot of times people see, oh, you're going to work with us and it's going to be custom, and they're thinking, maybe their experience of working with maybe their internal IT organizations on what those timelines are, and they're going to come with this huge project team, and it's going to be weeks and months to start to see something. This is literally all kind of template based. On that call, a lot of times we just answer some questions, set up some groups, and shortly after that call, you can get access and start to see the results of that. So we're talking the process that really takes days and isn't a lot of effort on that side. I would say the big timelines are generally working with your partner manager and getting that process in place between our team and your team to make sure that we know what partners you want to invite, and we kind of have that that process in place that those two teams are communicating. But again, we're not talking about long time frame to get that up and going either.
And I would also say, right, the easiest place to start with this is if you've got a partner manager out there that maybe doesn't know anything about TSANet, is we set up a short call, and 30 minutes we can walk through this, talk about how this works, how other companies have done it, so you're not like you think you're jumping into the ocean, like Paul mentioned. You're really not, right? I mean, this is a real easy way to get this thing set up, and we can implement these things in a very short time frame. And we have a track record to prove that we've done it that way. Okay. Anything else you can think of, Paul, we want to cover? Do you have?
I think that's really it. I think the places where you can learn more, obviously on our website, but also you can send mail to membership, or either myself or Dennis, and it's just our first names, Paul or Dennis at tsanet.org. We are, just so you know, this is the third of a series of webinars. So we had a really kind of an overview of TSANet Connect. Then we last month had a TSANet Connect administrator webinar, and now we've had the partner program one. We are going to be posting all those. You'll find them under the news and events blog, but you're also going to find them under, if you go to Why TSANet, or even from the homepage, you'll see a new homepage and a nice little video about TSANet Connect. But if you drill into that, all of these webinars are going to be posted in there as well.
Okay. I think that's it. We've actually taken up the full half hour here. Again, contact us if you have any questions. We'll make sure that this recording gets out to you so you can share it if you'd like. And we appreciate you signing on to coming into this webinar this morning. Thanks, everybody.